When it comes to watches for daily wear, we tend to skip past the most obvious choices like the Rolex Datejust and the Oyster Perpetual. If it's a Rolex, it has to be a sports model or no Rolex at all. As if that's a precursor into completing the transformation of becoming a true watch enthusiast. I think it's time we stop ignoring these watches because they're actually not bad at all. If you're looking for your next watch, check out Swiss Connection watches for new or pre-owned watches, with new arrivals every week. Thanks. Say what you will about Rolex, no other brand has managed to make their most entry-level offerings as hyped and intriguing as Rolex has managed to do with the new Oyster Perpetuals at Watches and Wonders this year. While Rolex has been having a bit of fun with the OP since 2020, the difference between the Datejust and the Oyster Perpetuals have started to become even more apparent. So let's try and dissect these two collections and see which one is the better choice for a go anywhere do anything Rolex that won't break the bank. While the professional sports models have always been more desirable, often notorious for their long wait lists and games by certain dealers, the Oyster Perpetuals were always the natural gateway into the brand. And while these have been the more casual of the entry-level offerings by Rolex, I feel like it was only in 2020 when the Oyster Perpetuals transitioned from being more than just a Rolex that you could afford to the Rolex that you actually wanted. And this year, Rolex continued that trend of making the Oyster Perpetuals fun with the introduction of the more dusty pastel dials like this pistachio. While the colors on the previous generation felt richer and more saturated, these new 2025 dials are definitely a lot softer and muted. One of the reasons why these were so well received by both the media and the watch community is because these shades have only recently started to pop up. But it wasn't something that anybody expected of Rolex, a brand that's known for wearing its boring persona like a badge of honor. The dials in the 2020 releases, including this candy pink, made these hot. With this reference coming in a 36mm case with a thickness of 11.6mm, a lug width of 20, and a lug-to-lug of 43.5mm, making it still a rather compact watch on the wrist. The new reference 124200 measures 34mm in diameter with a thickness of 10.8mm, a lug width of 18mm, and a lug-to-lug of 40mm. Both watches feature sapphire crystals, both feature 100 meters of water resistance and twin-lock screw-down crown, along with brushed finishing on the bracelet and the lugs. The smaller variant of the new Oyster Perpetuals in 28, 31, and 34 feature the in-house automatic Calibre 2232 with 55 hours of power reserve, while the 36 and the larger models are powered by the Calibre 3230 with significantly higher 70 hours of power reserve. Some of the OP variants with matte lacquered dials visually separate themselves from the dressier sunburst dials found on the Datejusts. These are lacquered dials with a brass base that receives 6 layers of lacquer to create a uniform surface without distortion before getting varnish and polish as a final finishing touch. Compared to the 36mm versions, the 34 has Roman numerals above the applied markers and lack of double batten markers at 3, 6, and 9. Another visual differentiator is the presence of painted squares outside of every hour marker on the larger models as compared to the Roman numerals in the case of the 34mm version. The Datejust, on the other hand, has a bit more going on, not just in terms of design and functionality, but also in terms of its historical roots. It features some of Rolex's signature design cues, like the polarizing date window with the Cyclops magnifier, and in some models, the iconic Jubilee bracelet, along with the fluted bezel that the brand has been using since 1926, making it one of the visual identifiers of a Rolex. While the OP can be seen as a bit more casual daily watch, the Datejust is just that little bit more serious, a bit more elegant. Obviously, you can choose to dress it down with a flat bezel and the 3-link bracelet option, but even in that configuration, the significantly more polished touches on the case and bracelet add to the dressiness when compared to the somewhat similar Oyster Perpetual. But style the watch with the iconic Jubilee bracelet and the fluted bezel, and you have a timeless icon of a watch, A watch with so many blueprints that have been homogenized even more than a century later. But while the OP, with its heavily brushed case and bracelet, falls heavily towards the more casual look, the versatility of the Datejust makes it a favorite among collectors. You see, Rolex has historically been an achievement watch, a watch that marks the success of one's life. And while the seasoned collectors will look towards Patek Philippe and Vacheron Constantin for dressier options, the Datejust was always able to offer that robust everyday watch capability with a luxury feel to it. Something that ticked all the boxes for the working man and woman's one watch collection. The black and mint green Datejusts in 36 have near identical specifications to the 36mm Oyster Perpetual, but with slight differences. Here, these feature the caliber 3235 instead of the 3230, with an added date complication. The mint green reference features a solid 18-karat gold fluted bezel and a Jubilee bracelet, while this black tile Datejust comes on a 3-link bracelet with polished center links and more polished touches on the case than its Oyster Perpetual counterpart. Many say that the Datejust has always been the perfect entry-level Rolex, but I think because the post-COVID trends heavily prioritize comfort over dressiness, the OP has started to appeal to younger collectors more than ever before. Those that want the reliability and the brand recognition of Rolex, but don't necessarily relate to the brand's historical design traits. That's why, even though the new colorful dials seem very non-Rolex in their execution, the fresh take that they offer has opened the brand to a lot more people that in the past may have viewed it as old-fashioned. My question to you now is, if you had to pick one Rolex, which one speaks to you more? The more down-to-earth Oyster Perpetual or the more iconic and timeless Datejust? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and don't forget to check out Swiss Connection Watches website for new and pre-owned watches. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.